Hello, 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 everybody. Welcome to the Mary D Talk Show. If you are new, you've never been here, welcome. If you are a fan, welcome. All of you, welcome. I'm so glad you could make it every Monday. It's been live for almost 4 years now, 3.5 years. It could be, we're talking about what's going on in the world. It could be all kinds of things we're talking about here. There is no limit to the talk show what we talk about here. I know I'm looking at, and I didn't put Instagram on, so I know, so I didn't. I'm gonna try, and that's because this is so. Those of you that know what I'm talking about in this Save Your Home from Probate. Why is it that I feel so drawn to this? Um, it's phenomenal because and I'll be honest and tell you guys why. I've lived it, and it is just not pretty. It's not pretty. I call it, for me, for those of you that don't, I call it the devil. That's what I call it. But anyway, let me say good morning again. As many of you saw, I said the happiest of Mondays because this past week it's been like, oh, I've heard something that unfortunately, um, someone, the accidents, death, you name it. It's just not been a good week of what coming in to what's going on. I'll say that. But first, before I get started with talking about our topic today, I want to say welcome to our executive producer, my husband. Hi, babe. That's Oliver. For those of you guys that don't know who Oliver is, then I also want to thank you for our supporters that have supported the Mary D Talk Show from day one. Is the Idea Club, and the other is First Book Academy, Front Page Publishing. And I did speak to you guys about this, but I didn't go into detail. I kind of just touched on it last week, and that was because of it's more and more getting closer and closer. Filming the very first of about, I think it's 3 documentaries that I know I'm filming the first one. It'll start this year, and we are asking for support. The site's not ready yet, but let me tell you how you can give if you want to. Email me, and then I'll send you to the site. They're working on it right now, and it's about these ladies who are in the Inland Empire. They have dedicated their time. This has gone on for years, not just one or two. I'm talking about like 15 or 20 or more. But they take T-shirts. Oh, see, you guys hear the phone, the text messages coming in. Let me turn that phone down. They take T-shirts and they cut the sleeves off, and they take the front panel and the back panel, and they turn that into diapers for babies in Africa. And the reason I even got, how you may say, well, how did you get involved in that? The way I got involved in that, and hi, Antonio, I'm going to call your name, don't worry. One of the ladies asked me to join. And I thought about it, and I said, I can barely sew a straight line. Let me just be honest. I can sew one, but I can barely sew one. So what I've learned to do is work from your strengths. And my strength is a filmmaker. So the minute I started listening to the stories, I knew instantly, there was no doubt in my mind that it's a documentary. So we'll start filming in the next few weeks. And I'm really excited about this. These ladies, as I said before, they get together at a church, and these are donated T-shirts. And I haven't put it up, but when I get the address to the church, I will be putting that up, and it will go out on the email system. So those of you that have T-shirts, you can mail them there, and they can use them. They're repurposing these T-shirts, and I think that is just wonderful. They're repurposing the T-shirts, and they're making them into diapers for babies. And why that was fascinating to me is because the fact that they will never see the babies. Think about that. They're doing this for babies. They don't know them or anything like that, but they still want to give back. So I think that's what was so fascinating to me. So, and I'll put my email up if you want to email me that you're interested. Let's see, I forgot to put this across the bottom. And I'll put the Mary D Welch. Send me an email, and my is my cell phone number in there yet? No, I'll put my cell. This is where the messages go. So just so you know, I rarely pick up this number, or neither, and it's an office number, but you can always leave a message on that number, and that those the phone number is checked every single day. So either myself or somebody from the team will get back to you. So don't ever think we're not trying to contact you. But sometimes we get so busy trying to make sure we contact everybody. I'm looking for the phone number. I know it was here last week, so I have to be here. Okay. Well, anyway, let me do this. I'll put it in again. This is myself. I mean, to the office, not I'm put office, not cell. So if you're interested in being a part of this, if you like to donate, um, I would love to have it. 98603. Make sure I get 61966. That's it. Okay. Let me put this up for you because I want you to be able to contact. Oh, there you go. That's the office number. You can always leave a message there, 619-669-8603. You can leave a message there. Don't text that number. Let me tell you that now. Don't text it because I won't be able to get the text, but it definitely will get the messages. So leave a message. If you or a group that wants to help, because we do and I'll tell you what the money goes for. One, the film crew that's here in the U.S., and the second, I've already hired a crew to do the other end in Africa. So they're going to take the footage when the diapers come off the ship, because they have to be shipped. Then you have to take them to the village. So it's going to have all this footage in there, and I'm just so excited about that. And then they're going to have when the mothers receive them. The title of the documentary is called With Loving Hands. That's the title. And that's what we'll start filming in September. So we'll start getting the filming get going in September with the ladies on this side. And then we start, once the diapers are shipped, we have the other side on what that looks like. So we go from you donating the t-shirt, from right there, what that t-shirt becomes and what that is when it's actually repurposed to help a baby. I know someone asked, it was one of a friend of mine said, well, why don't they just go to the store and buy some Pampers? And I said, because there is no store. I didn't even, not that there is no Pampers, there is no store to buy Pampers. That's not even a choice they have. So that's why, to me, I've been really blessed. I've been to Africa. I was in Ghana, but that's been years ago. And I know that Ghana, I'm sure, has changed dramatically since the time I've been there. But still, I would tell anyone, if you ever have an opportunity to go, I would definitely say go. So, but that still is hiring a team on the side of when you're crossing over the ocean, you still have to have a team on that end to do that. Initially, I was going to go, to be honest with you. And then I just thinking all the things I'm doing here, I said, no, I think I need to stay here because we'll be working with having the documentary edited. So that's what's going to happen. So we're going to be working on things. So just wanted to make sure I said that before I get going with the topic, because today's topic really, ladies and gentlemen, is kind of serious. I think people already know that, but it really is. We don't always talk about this. I think I mentioned it, but I definitely want to go into more detail today. First, I want to say hi to everybody who's made a comment. Welcome. Because I see Antonio. Hi, Antonio. Then you're going to say, I'm doing good. Thank you for asking. So, I mean, I just had lunch before I went to the show today, which is, sometimes I don't get lunch until after the show, but I did before the show today. Oh, you like the necklace? Thank you. Thank you. I didn't have a necklace on at first. And then I said, you need something on your neck. That guy. So thank you, Antonio. Tell your mom I said hi. Tell her I said hi. And then this is, okay, is this Sonia? Oh, good afternoon, Mary. Oh, this is from Lorenzo Fleming. Okay. Big fit. Okay. Hi, Lorenzo. Lorenzo, if I'm not mistaken, Lorenzo, we've been talking about your book for a few years now. So let's get the book done, Lorenzo. It's time. It's time. How, Nanette? Hi, Nanette. Nanette, I tell you, I'm so proud of you and your family, because I talked to another family earlier today. Oh, I better take so you guys don't hear. Every time you hear that, the ding, I might leave it on. You guys can hear it. It is For those of you that get the text messages, that's someone sending me a text message. That's what you're hearing when you hear the ding ding. That's a text message coming back to me. Now, let me tell you what I noticed about text messages. I wish I could say they're all nice, but you know what I feel like, truthfully, I had to learn this, ladies and gentlemen, because sometimes I'll get the message and say stop, and they're not too bad. Nothing has really been bad. Let me say that, nothing. It's been more just the kindness and everything. But it's really, when I see the ones that say stop, when that means that they don't want to receive the text messages, I used to take it personally. Oh yeah, I would be like, oh my God, they don't want to hear from me anymore. That's it forever. I don't feel like that anymore. You know what I feel like? People are busy. People are busy. It's like we're running on a treadmill going 50 miles an hour, let's say 100 miles an hour, but that treadmill is real, and the treadmill is life. And people are like, that text message is one thing they do not have to deal with. So what they're saying is, let me just reduce the things I deal with. That's all. But I used to take it personally. I used to be like, oh, but it took me a while to understand that. And it's okay. It's okay. That's another thing I learned from, just life. It is okay. Whatever they decide is okay. So don't feel like you can't stop getting text messages, stop getting emails. I get it. But the numbers they're still growing. It's still getting bigger and bigger. I will say that. Both lists are getting bigger. The text list is getting bigger. The email list is getting bigger. So I just want you to know, it's nothing. Like I said, I had to grow to this, by the way. And that is, don't take it personally. It's okay. So, but yes, let me say this, Lorenzo. You have do you, Lorenzo? You have an idea for a children's book? Wow. We need to talk. Lavinia. Hi, Lavinia. How are you? I'm going to tell you, when I see your names pop up, I can't say hi fast enough. It's like, hi. And I say Inoko, but it's not Inoko. How do you pronounce your name? You have to tell me. You have to sound it out for me. I've been calling you Inoko as long as I've known you, but I think it's Inako. I think it's Inako, but you've let me get away with Inoko. So, but hi. Always good to see you. Always good to see. Oh, like I said, we're going to talk about this because let me tell you why. Look, let me get it. Let me say hi first to everybody, then I'll go back and tell you guys why. Okay. Nanette, okay, see, and that's okay. Nanette said she doesn't want things in her feet, and I think that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I get it. Hoida. Now, let me tell you guys who Hoida is. Hoida and I went to high school together. I cannot believe this. I know Hoida. Now, how many years now? I know it's got to be 50 for me. 50 years ago. Yep. And we graduated. Hoida graduated a year early, which I always thought that was so fascinating. That she actually was in my sister's class, who was behind me, but she graduated with my class. I was so impressed with that. I don't know if I ever told you that, Hoida, but that's how smart she is, ladies and gentlemen. She got that brain power going on. So Hoida said, hi, Mary. Glad to be able to join the show today. That's exciting news about your documentary and your outreach. I know. I cannot believe it. Okay, then, see, I didn't tell you guys the other part. I didn't share. I just love sharing stuff with you guys. There's an executive producer interested in one of my Christmas movies. Now, I've written 2 Christmas movies. Another movie, which I just got the ending last night. I'm so excited. I'm going to tell you guys, when you write as a writer, you want to make it good. You know what I mean? I don't want to make an ending where you go, that's it. I want to make an ending. You go, what? I didn't see that coming. That's the ending I want. And I love it when people write movies like that. When they write movies and they do not insult your intelligence. To me, you got me right there. Don't insult my intelligence. Write a movie. I have to think about it. I have to really put some energy and that brain matter into it. That's important to me. I don't like movies where I go, I just really, when the end comes, you go, that's it. It's almost like you're let down. But how about the movies when they bring you up and you go, Wow, that's the kind of movies I want to write. So, and I think the one she's interested. I'm so. I'll tell you guys more about it as we go along. But this is, like I said, I've written 2 Christmas movies. Proud of both of them. So they are the ones that I have. There's someone looking at them, seriously looking at them and considering them. Those are the two. No, no, I'm sorry. There's one. The other one I've written, but no one is looking at that one right now. But I have a feeling the other one could be a play. I just feel like it should be a play. We'll see. But can you tell I enjoy writing? Writing is to me, I don't even know. I don't have the words. I don't have the words to explain what it means to me. That's just how much it means to me. So it's that near and dear. Nanette, for your growth. Thank you, Nanette. You know, Nanette, I tell the audience, we met, I'm gonna say 6 months ago, 6, 7 months ago. And I was so glad to meet her at the Civil Rights Institute. I go, you're Nanette? That's what. So hi, Nanette. Always good to see you. And this is Joan. Hi, Joan. How are you? Welcome to the show, Joan. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Glad to have you here. Glad you're here. Oh, this show on probate. I'm gonna be honest with you guys. We're gonna 15 minutes. I'm gonna be able to wrap it up though. But I will tell you, this is an important show. Let me say that. And so those of you that are coming, or those of you watching the replay, I'm going to get into the meat of why we're here today. Don't worry. He said it's not smarts. It's going to summer school. I think I love it. I didn't know how you did it. I just remember thinking she must really be smart. That's the only thing I thought of, that you went to going to summer school because we did not go on vacation. So I had enough credits to graduate early. I said, see, think about this, Awita. I still remember that. After all these years that you graduated a year early. I thought that was just, wow. That was saying a lot. You said writing is therapeutic for me. Well, it is. For me too, it is. Well, as you know, when you write, I don't care what anybody says. It is so, it's emotional. It is. I tell you, I was just running the ending by my husband last night. Oliver, I said, so what do you think about this? And he goes, so how did you get there? I don't even know. I'll be the first to admit that. It is very therapeutic. It's emotional. It's all of that in all of that in there. When you write, oh my goodness. And then I know for me, I have to go back and rewrite it, go back and do this, change this character, add a character, take a character out. It's all of that in there, you name it. But at the same time, when you finish something, it is so fulfilling. And then even after you finish it, by the way, somebody else is going to look at it and change it anyway. That's just the nature of I'm talking about screenwriting, not necessarily books. No, that's kind of like, that's you. And hi, Diamond Ruby. I think you're on vacation. You've been on vacation. He says, hi, I'm currently looking to purchase. Oh, so I'll need this information. Okay. Pop yellow stripe. Oh, well, I can tell, yes, you will. You will definitely need it. I will tell, as I go through this with you, ladies and gentlemen, if you know anyone that's a homeowner, I would highly recommend you. If they don't see this, that's okay. But have them see what I'm talking about, because the Save Your Home from Probate is, if you own a property and you're the only one on title, this is definitely for you. But I was just thinking the other day, because Oliver and I travel together a lot. We have the living trust, but it's if I pass away and sometimes if he passed away. But we have not really dealt with if we both pass away together. We just haven't dealt with that. So we need to really sit down and because we have 4 children, 5 grandchildren. We need to address that. Let me say that. So that's something we need to do. So see how as I'm talking to you, I have things I need to take care of. Nanette, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Who did I say? Oh, okay. I think I went back to. Okay, you said but that is still. Wait, is that still smart? You said I went to summer school to take extra classes, and I could graduate early too, but chose to stay. Okay. But Nanette, you did the same thing, but you chose to stay and graduate with your class. I tell you, Huida was gone. She graduated with us, but it was about She wasn't the only one that year. I remember it was other students that did the same thing. Look at all these smart people in here. I graduated the class I went in with. That's the one I graduated with. But anyway, we're gonna get started. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today's show is called Save Your Home from Probate. Oh, I call probate the devil. I do. Those of you that, if you, and let me just say this. I didn't even know what probate was. Let me really, really break it down. I had heard the word probate. I had heard it, but it didn't, what difference did it make to me? Because I had no real knowledge. I had no working knowledge of it. I just heard the word. And so when I heard people say, oh, the house went into probate, that didn't mean anything to me. And I'm like, okay, but I didn't really have any firsthand knowledge of it. I do now. That's why I call probate the devil. Now, let me explain what can lead you to have to deal with this. Number one, it's a court process. Let me say that. It has to go before a judge. And a judge has to decide. That should tell you right there it's going to be all bad. When you have a neutral party, you have to make a decision over whatever is going on. What I don't like about it is probate is family against family. That's what I don't like about it. It's family against family. And that's why I call it the devil. That's why I call it that. I mean, nobody else calls it that. I don't know what people call it. I'm going to tell you what I call it. I call it the devil. So if you own property, and it's, let's say, I'm going to use our home. Let's say I own this home and my husband's not on the title to the deed. It's just my name is the only one on the title. If I were to pass away and I had a will, the will has to be probated, meaning the will has to go before a judge and verifies that I signed that will and everything I said in the will. That's why it has to be probated. So in other words, there's no, people lie. Let's just be honest. People cheat, steal, you name it. They do some everything. So the point is, okay, how do the judge doesn't know if that's really that person's will. How do they know? They don't know. So it's a process, and they have their ways, excuse me, they have their ways of finding that out. So it goes through the process to determine, is this the last will and testament of that person? Now, in that process, you may have to hire an attorney, and you may not. I know some people, they went through the process, they did not have to have an attorney. I know other people, they've had like 10 attorneys. So the point I'm making is, I don't know if you'll need an attorney or not. You may not need one. If the family can agree, the truth is you really probably can do it yourself. It depends. I'm hesitant to say that though. And did I say at the beginning I'm not an attorney? I hope I did. So let me say this. The best way I can say it, this is how I say all of this is always get an attorney. If the family can agree on everything, the cost of an attorney is minuscule. But if they can't agree, that's the issue. If you can agree, you can actually, and I've said this a couple of times, you can go down to the Bar Association in the county you live in. I'm speaking of anyone that's living in California. Now, if you're outside of California, there's different laws. Those of you that see the book that I've written called Save Your Home from Probate, I'll put that up here too, so you can get it. You can get it on Amazon. Save Your Home from Probate, because I probably could put the link up. Let me see, have them put it up. Here we go. That's the title of the book, Save Your Home from Probate. The book is, I think paperback is like $80 or something, but I promise you, it's well worth it. It is more than well worth it. And you may say, well, when do I need this? You need it before the person dies. Let me say that, because once they die, it's too late. They can't sign it, is what I'm trying to say. They have to have signed it. They have to have it notarized. That now they need 2 witnesses. in the state. I'm speaking for California. I'm not speaking for any place else in the country. California, you have to have that paper signed and notarized, and you have to have two witnesses, and then you can file it at the county of records. I'm speaking for Riverside County because that's where we file ours, at the county records. Everything all told is about, it's a little over 100. But now that you need the other two signatures notarized, so that's going to cost 50, another, let's say $130. It will save you so many thousands of dollars by having this one paper filled out. It's called a transfer on death deed. You can go online to the county that you live in. I'm giving, as they say, I'm giving away the farm right now, but I'm okay with it. That's how important this is. Go to the county you live in. Go online and put in TOD, which is transfer on death deed. It may come at TODD for death deed. You can get the forms right there. Very simple. They're going to ask you to also say the not just the address of the property, but the legal description of the property. So you may have to go on the county website to get that. Everything, I'm telling you, I spoke to a group before I came on today, and the first thing they said is they while I was talking, they went online and got the paperwork because they have senior family members, and they may have a will, but that will has to be probated. That's what's so important about this. To have this form filled out. Now, after it's filled out, and as I said, notarized and everything, you're going to go down to the county and file it with the deed to the property. When the owner passes away or dies, in other words, for saying they die, then you will go back to the county again, and now you would bring the death certificate of that person. And now there's a fee to, I don't know what the fee is, but that you would be able to put the property in your name. Because there's a fee for everything. You know that, right? So now you actually have a property. If there was no mortgage on it, you have a property free and clear. Think about that. It's huge. Now as long as your name, now what they're going to do, they're going to take the deceased name off the property and put your name on the property. You can sell it, you can rent it, you can do whatever you want to do with it, but it's yours. That's how. Now that may seem, I'm gonna go again because that was a lot of information. If you have a property, it's in your name, and you want to leave it to someone, this is a way you can do it. It's called a poor man's trust. Now, there's other ways. What I like about this, about the transfer on death deed. The person is never on title to the deed, meaning if they have debts, nobody can sue. If they have a debt, nobody can sue for that debt because they're not on title. They're only on title on it if the person passes away and now the property goes into their name. Now somebody can sue them, to be honest with you, because now they're entitled to a property. But until that person passes away, they're never entitled to the property. That's why I like transfer on death deeds. I like them so much. I went through there's actually 33 states and the District of Columbia that use this form. Now, what I would encourage you, those of you that say, if you live, for instance, Washington, D.C. has it, but Maryland doesn't have it, right next door. Because every state has to do it for themselves. But Washington, D.C. is a District of Columbia. They do have a transfer on death deed. For some reason, it just hasn't gone through the Maryland legislature, but I'm very confident it will because it keeps people out of court. Is what it does. And I promise you, there's enough court cases about probate. So this is one instrument, this one sheet of paper, and well, two, because you have to have the sheet filled out and now you have to have it notarized. That's it. In California, you can do this for a single family home. You can do it for a condominium, and you can do it for a fourplex, up to a fourplex. But for a single family home, if you have a single family home, You can do it for each of those single. Let's say you own 4 homes. You can actually do it each one. You fill out this paper for that one, and you can leave it to this person. You can leave it to your church, another home if you own it. You can leave it to different people. Each one can be left to a different person or to the same person. But you can do this. I've had so many people that have used this and like, thank you for letting us know this exists, because it's been like a secret. And I haven't gone back to the question. So just a moment, I will come back, because I think if there's questions about it, I am gonna answer them. And I will repeatedly say I'm not an attorney, because I'm literally covering myself. In the book, at the bottom of every single page, it says, this is for educational purposes only. Now, another thing I'm going to answer before I go to the questions. If, let's say I'm going to use me as an example. I have a home. I'm the only one on title, and I leave the property to one of my children. What if they pass away before I do? Now that transfer on death deed doesn't exist anymore. It goes away because there's nobody to leave it to. So you'd have to do another one and put someone else on title. Though that's what you would have to do. But another way, and many of you already know this way, and that is a living trust. A trust. Let me explain what that is. If you have a trust, you would, inside of your trust, you have these forms. You have a power of attorney, you have a medical directive, you have a will, and in the trust, and also the transfer. It's not called a transfer on death deed. It's another instrument. That's what they're called, to make sure the property is transferred to who you want it to go to. A living trust is the most powerful method that you can use, and you don't have to have an attorney to fill this out. You can use it went just right over my head. You can use a paralegal to do it. You don't have to it's not a requirement to have an attorney do this. And you can do this for less. I know someone that did it for $650. They have a living trust. I do want to caution everyone, if you have, did I mention medical directive in your trust? I think I did. Okay. If you have a power of attorney for anyone, the power of attorney only lasts as long as that person is living. When that person passes away, the power of attorney goes with them. I'll be honest, I didn't know all this before, but I've learned. We have this conception. I've actually heard people say this, so I know it's true. They were at the hospital and the person passed, and this person said, "I have power of attorney." And I don't say anything because I already know it went with them. So now you no longer have that power of attorney. But the thing of it is, if you never experienced any of these things, how would you know? Think about that. I didn't know, but I know now. I know now that it's a lot of this that unless you've gone through it, how would you know? Why would you know? All those things. So let me go to the questions and comments. Antonio, you said, "Oh, how was my 4th of July?" It was fine. Actually, Antonio, I worked. We didn't really do any celebration here. I was at home working. But it was good. It was good. I was actually working on the screenplay, the one I was sharing with you. So it was quiet. Didn't go anywhere. Didn't do it, which was really nice. It was really nice. I really just very quiet. You're still looking forward to being on your show again? Oh, don't worry, Antonio. You'll be back. I'm not worried about that at all. You'll be back. And Elaine, hi Elaine. Elaine, I was at the meeting. Great Monday for you and all your guests. Oh, thank you, Elaine. Ladies and gentlemen, this is the those of you in for scholarships. Oh, Elaine, Bradley's daughter graduates next year, and she has a 3.7 or 3.8 grade point average. So we will be talking. And I think she's going to, I don't know if it's Spelman, but Bradley now lives in Atlanta. So somewhere back that way, they're going to go. But anyway, I'll make sure we're going to definitely talk. So, but I want to make sure, just, you knew about all this, Elaine, but I really had to stress this because just recently, ladies and gentlemen, I was at Is it Office Depot? Now think about this. I tell you, two things happened in the last week. I was in Office Depot. The lady didn't even know my name and started telling me what her and her family was going through probate with their mother's property. I just sat there. I'm sitting there listening. I said, and I asked her just quietly, I said, is the family getting along? And it was almost like something erupted. She goes, she couldn't believe what's happening. She goes, I don't even recognize these people anymore. They've turned to greedy. You know, everybody's greedy. Everybody's trying to get this. I'm just sitting there listening because I already knew the chances are, if your family can get along during probate, I applaud you because you are the exception and you're not the rule. I think Nanette said her family can get along. You're not the rule. I'm going to tell you, you're definitely the exception. I'm going to be honest. 9 times out of 10, they fight. I'm going to tell you. And it's ugly. What do I call it? The devil. That's what I call it. Because it's family against family. She said right now, remember, I don't even know this lady. And she was just telling me how the brothers got the property, took it right from under her and her sister. I'm like, what? She said, yeah. And I'm not talking about a little $50 property. I'm talking about in the millions. Because it's what? Free money. Free money. So I was like, wow. And then that was the one incident. Now think about this. They happened, these 2 incidents. I sat down at a table and the lady started telling me about what her and her family's going through. I was sitting here going, they don't even know me. So they didn't even know anything about it. I wrote a book. They knew nothing about me. And I sat there listening going, wow, that the stories are universal. And in this situation, her and her sister no longer speak. They don't speak behind this stuff. So this is what I'm going to go through real quickly because I think it's something we need to know about. Okay. A question. Oops, I lost the question. Okay. Can I read? No, I'll start at the very beginning because I won't miss anything. What does the TOD do? When you die, the identified property will transfer to your named beneficiary without probate. The TOD has no effect until you die. You can revoke it at any time. I need to say that. Now, you do have to pay a fee to revoke it. I don't even think it's $25, but at any time you can revoke. Let's say you were going to leave it to someone and for some reason you got mad with them. You don't have to keep their name on that property. You can take their name off the property and you can put someone else's name on it. That's totally legal. Now, like I said, there's a fee, but it's very nominal. I said $25. I don't really know what the fee is, so don't quote me on that. But I do know there is a fee involved. Another question. Can I use a TOD to transfer business property? The deed can only be used to transfer a parcel of property that contains 1 or 4 residential dwelling units, a condominium unit, and a parcel of agricultural land of 40 acres or less, which contains a single family residence. So you cannot do it with the business. That's the best answer I can give. You can't. So it just says a single family home, or you can do it with the not a duplex or quadplex with 4, a condo, that kind of thing, but not with a business. How do I use a TOD? You complete the form, you have it notarized, you record the form at the county where the property is located, and the form must be recorded on or before 60 days after you sign it, or the deed has no effect. So from the date it's signed, you have 60 days to file. That's it. So you don't keep it and don't file it. If you don't file it, then you have then nothing goes into effect. You have to file it. And as I said before, it's very nominal. It's literally pennies in comparison to getting an attorney and going to court and all that. You don't want to do that. Is the legal description of the property necessary? The answer is yes. You are going to need the legal description of the property. How do I find the legal description of the property? This information can be on the deed you received when you became the owner of the property, and the information can also be available at the office at the county recorder for the county where the property is located. If you are not absolutely sure, consult an attorney. I don't know about that. I think you can definitely go down to the county where the property is. You don't need a lawyer to do that. And they'll tell you, I can't remember. The last time I went, I think it was the microfiche, but I don't know if that's what they're doing or the computer. But you would put the property address in, and the legal description is going to come up. Okay, next question. How do I record the form? You take the completed notarized form to the county recorder for the county in which the property is located. Follow the instructions given by the county recorder to make the form part of the official property records. What if I share the ownership of the property? This form only transfers your share of the property. If a co-owner wants to name a COD beneficiary, that co-owner must complete and record a separate form. And this is so, like, for instance, if you're not married, or I guess, if you're not married, really, I think. If you co-own with more than one person, which people do, they buy property together, then that's only their share would transfer on the deed. Can I revoke this TOD beneficiary if I change my mind? Yes, you can revoke the TOD deed at any time. No one, including your beneficiary, can prevent you from. How do I revoke the TOD deed? There are 3 ways to revoke a recorded TOD deed. 1, you complete and have notarized. Let me turn this off so you guys don't have to hear that. You complete and have notarized the record, a revocation form. You create and have notarized a record, a new TOD. You sell or give away the property or transfer it to a trust before your death and record and record the deed. A TOD deed can only affect property that you own when you die. A TOD cannot be revoked by will. What this is saying, ladies and gentlemen, is a TOD is more powerful than a will. Think about that. I had this in my mind. Oh, a will is the most powerful. Nope. A TOD is more powerful than a will. Truthfully, when you go to court, if you have a TOD and you have a will, the TOD supersedes a will. That's a fact. Can I revoke a TOD deed by creating a new document that disposes of their property? For example, by creating a new TOD or by assigning the property to a trust? The answer is yes, but only if the new document is recorded. To avoid any doubt, you may wish to record a TOD deed revocation form before creating a new instrument. Now, like I said before, the what it costs to file these forms is very little. It really is. So don't think, oh, it's going to cost a lot of money. It is not. I know the very first time I did a trust, the attorney was $1,500. He said it's $1,000 every time you change that trust. Let me just say this. I never changed the trust. And I know why he did that. So I wouldn't be coming back and forth, changing it. It's like, you're going to pay $1,000 every time I change it. So I never changed it. So this is, if it says yes, but only if the new document is recorded. What that's saying is people have documents that are not recorded. That's what it really saying. But you think you have something, but you literally have nothing because it's not recorded. To avoid any doubt, you may wish to record a TOD revocation form before creating any new instrument. A TOD cannot be revoked by a will or by purporting to leave the subject property to anyone via a will. So what they're saying, if you have a TOD and you have a will, the TOD supersedes the will. That's a big deal, ladies and gentlemen. That's not small. That's really a huge deal. That's saying you can have both, but the TOD is going to take effect. And I'm going back to your comments, because I know, I'm sure you have some about this. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. I missed somebody's coming here. Who did I miss above you, Inoko? Oh, I can try, Antonio. Okay, I'll try. I can't. I've learned not to promise, but I will definitely try. We'll talk though, Antonio. We will. Okay, Noko said, I was at an elderly abuse training, and they spoke about several new caretaker California laws. One big one: if you are the caretaker or newly married, are only able to receive $5,000, including the property. That's a new law. I'm glad you tell me about. I didn't even know that, because I think I didn't. You know why? I already know why. Because the caretaker ended up getting most of the money probably at the end, when that's the person took care of them, and that's the way the person is trying to thank them. And now they're like, no, you get 5,000 and a property. What is that? Called NG property, and no property. Is that what you're saying? I must be. I think that's a no. Tell me what that is, because I really am interested about that. Not that I'm a caregiver, but see, anything you can learn about these things, because our laws are changing so fast and furious. Who can keep up with them? And this is Gar said, Mary, important information. Even rich people have their issues with their estates. Elvis and Michael and Prince have had these issues. And Aretha. I think they found Aretha as well. Anyway, Prince did not have a will. I think Michael Jackson did. Don't quote me on that. But anyway, the point is, they have problems. It's every. I mean, what they say, more money, more problems. That's what I've heard. Code. There are a lot of new laws, and people are learning after the person died. You right about that? Like I said, I'm very curious about that one, because I've heard of caregivers getting everything when somebody dies. So that's probably why they're having a new law. And Oliver says, hi, everyone. Thank you for joining the show. Your input, knowledge, and participation on today's topic is greatly appreciated. Hi, Ray. I know it's so funny, guys, because he's literally across the hall from me. I just think that's so funny. Inoko, property valued at $5,000 or less. In the state of California? They must be joking. They have to be joking. I'm the only thing about that. Some people are going to say, well, I'm not going to take care of people. If I saw I'm going to get out of this is $5,000. I'm curious about that. I'm just curious. And this says, Huida, does the TOD supersede a living trust? That's a very good question, Huida. I think, no. I'm thinking, remember, I'm not an attorney. I would think a living trust supersedes a TOD. That's what I would think. That's only if you have filed the papers. Even with a living trust, you have to take it down to the county and file. It's not automatic. You still have to do that. And I think I've said this, and I'm going to probably do this again and really, really, I guess, hammer this home. You can have a beneficiary on your bank account. You can have a beneficiary with your car. These are free things, by the way, totally free. Doesn't cost you anything to do these things. Why am I saying this? If you don't have a beneficiary, you pass away, it can take up to 30 days to get into your bank account. That's a month to get in that bank account. So for many people, their body sits in that morgue for a month because nobody can get the money to have a funeral. This is real, ladies and gentlemen. This is the world we live in. So you want to make sure that you have everything in place. Another question was on there about the TOD. Do you tell people that there's a TOD? The answer is yes. I would tell them. If they don't know, well, I'm gonna say this: they'll find out and then go down and try to sell it. It'll be attached to that deed. They can't do it. Whoever is listed as the beneficiary is going to have to come, bring the death certificate down so it can put that another person on title. All that has to be done. So whether you say something or not, may not matter because they're not going to give it to just anybody. You have to bring your ID, come down there, bring the death certificate. It's more to it than that. Cole, oh, let me see. If you are the caretaker, you get $5,000. That's it. This is in California. I'm gonna be honest. I already know that's not enough. It's not. Not when you've been taking care of, and some people are really ill, and it's kind of this, that, and the other. It's just, I don't know. I can't say anything. Now, it's interesting. What if the caregiver is the child of that person? See, I don't know. I don't know the answer to any of this. And I'm no authority. That's why I always keep reiterating, I am not an attorney. So, as they say, smarter people than me to figure this thing out. That's for sure. Oh, Nanette, what did you say? CODIS versus, what is that, Nanette? CODIS versus VOTIS? I don't know what that means. Tell me what that means, Nanette. So I'm saying that, I missed it. Okay, here we go. I missed that. I'm sorry, I skipped over it. Nanette, like I said, my mother wrote in her living trust, anyone complains or contests that what is written, COIDS, what they can receive. So they're going to receive, and they receive nothing. Yeah, tell me about it. I understand. People still complain. I can tell you that now. There is a special unit at the Riverside County Coroner's Office that these new laws are being upheld. Really? I'm telling you, you're educating me, Cole, because I never heard that. You made a mistake, that they made a mistake. Okay. Got it. Well, I'm sitting up here, I'm talking, and I don't want to lose track of time. I did want to go back to a couple of more questions. If I sell or give away the property described in a TOD deed, what happens when I die? If the deed or other documents used to transfer your property is recorded before your death, the TOD will have no effect. If the transfer document is not recorded before your death, the TOD will take effect. And I'm reading from the actual questions, by the way. Questions in it. This is from, when you go online, these are the ones you'll see. I am being pressured to complete this form. What should I do? Do not complete the form unless you are freely choosing to do so. If you are being pressured to dispose of your property in a way that you do not want, you may want to alert a family member, a friend, the district attorney, or senior service agency. So, and I don't know if you guys know this, and I'm going to talk about this probably another time. Seniors are targets. Think about this. Seniors are targets. Because if we get flustered, let me just sign this and be done with it. That kind of thing. Or just to get out of my face type thing. That's not a good thing. This is what I've learned. On my phone, it says it's a scam call. Does it say scam? I think it says that scam. But anyway, I don't answer it. This is what I have learned. I'm just being honest with all of you, because we have a timeshare, and they wanted us to upgrade to another whatever it was going to cost us more money. But I didn't see the necessity. We already have one. Why we need another? But anyway, long story short, when the man called and was asking me questions, I said, I can't go to that meeting. He said, why? I said, because you're smarter than me. You could have heard a pin drop. He said, what did you say? I said, you are smarter than me. He said, why do you say that? I said, because you already know what I'm thinking, what I'm going to say. You have the rebuttal. I said, you're smarter than me. So what I'm going to do is not even attempt to go to these things. And we don't go, because they know more about us than they know. When you go to those timeshare meetings, everybody there say they're not going to buy. Everybody in that room swear up and down they're not going to buy. I promise you. I think it's over 85 to 90% buy. That's why I said don't even call, because I'm not going. I'm not going to another timeshare meeting. I don't care what they're giving away. Keep it. You have more than paid for that when you sign on that dotted line. And I'm giving you guys this real quick story. Me and Oliver went, oh my gosh, I'm gonna say about 4 years ago now. I got up and left. This is a timeshare thing, by the way. I got off subject, but I walked out. Those people, Oliver called me. They said, well, can you get your wife to come back? And I wasn't going to come back, but I only came back because that's my husband, so I came back. Do you know they blocked our chairs in and everything? I couldn't believe it. 3 of them stood behind Oliver's chair so he couldn't leave. And then was somebody behind my chair so I couldn't leave. One thing I told Oliver that day, I said, Oliver, we signed that on that dotted line. They get to go back there and laugh. We walk out, we get to go back and we get to go and laugh. We walked out because I said, we didn't even need it. That's what I couldn't understand that. But anyway, back to the subject at hand. Do I need to tell my beneficiary about the TOD? And it says no, but secrecy can cause later complications and might make it easier for others to commit fraud. So they're saying tell them. What does my beneficiary need to do when I die? Your beneficiary must record evidence of your death and file a change of ownership notice. If you receive Medi-Cal benefits, your beneficiary must notify the State Department of Health Care Services of your death and provide a copy of your death certificate. What if I name more than one beneficiary? Now, this can get kind of sticky, ladies and gentlemen, but your beneficiaries will become co-owners and equal shares as tenants in common. If you want a different result, you should not use this form. If you don't want, the minute you put more than one person on there, I tell you, as I live and breathe, it's going to be sold. Let me just be honest. Somebody's going to want their money. I'm just going to tell you the truth on that. How do I name beneficiaries? You must name your beneficiaries individually using each beneficiary's full name. You may not use general terms to describe beneficiaries, such as my children or each beneficiary that you name. You should briefly state the person's relationship to you. For example, my spouse, my son, my daughter, my friend, but you have to put their name on there. And we're running out of time. What if the beneficiary dies before I do? If all beneficiaries die before you, the TOD has no effect. If a beneficiary dies before you, but other beneficiaries survive you, the share of the deceased beneficiary will be divided equally between the surviving beneficiaries. If that is not the result you want, you should not use a TOD. What is the effect of a TOD on property that I own as joint tenancy or community property with the right of ownership? If you are the first joint tenant or spouse to die, the deed is void and has no effect. The property transfers to the joint tenant or surviving spouse and not according to this deed. If you are the last joint tenant or spouse to die, the deed takes effect and controls the ownership of the property when you die. If you do not want these results, do not use this form. The deed does not transfer the shares of a co-owner of the property. Any co-owner who wants to name a TOD beneficiary must complete and record a separate deed. Can I add other conditions to the form? No. If you do, the beneficiary may need to go to court to clear the title. Is property transferred by the TOD subject to my debts? The answer is yes. Does the TOD help to avoid estate taxes? No. How does the TOD affect property taxes? The TOD has no effect on your property on your property taxes until your death. At that time, property tax law applies as it would any other change of ownership. Does the TOD affect my eligibility for Medi-Cal? No. After my death, will my home be liable for reimbursement of the state for Medi-Cal expenses? Your home may be liable for reimbursement. If you have questions, you should consult an attorney. A transfer may revoke a revocable transfer on death deed. Oh, I want to talk about it. Let me see. Oh, I wanted to show you the deed, but I couldn't pull it up. Now, let me go back to, did I miss any questions? Nanette, she says, oh, Nanette, you said you made a mistake? Nanette, you said, thanks, Inoko, because I used to be a caregiver and I know some as well. It's a tough California property law, and it's creating distress. Yeah, I'm sure. That's why we said, I said, what? And you said, I never buy? Oh, okay. Okay. Ladies, gentlemen, it is exactly 2 o'clock. You know this up to the second. I love you all. I will see you a week from now. Don't forget the phone number now that's up there. If you're interested in donating for the diapers for the babies, you can give me a call, leave your information, and we'll go from there. It will, and it's going to be through the nonprofit. So you will be able to write it off as a tax deduction. Love you. See you in a week. Bye, everybody.